Hey, that was great. Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to the new Variety Art Show for this week. Boy, it has been a busy week for all of us, and we're glad that you've tuned in to join us here on Public Access for the new Variety Art Show. We'd like to tell you that this show is going to feature some interesting, fascinating guests from the world of variety arts, the new vaudeville, magicians, clowns, mimes, jugglers, singers, dancers, you name it, variety-type entertainment for the whole family. And we're going to interview these people. We're going to get to know who they are, how they got started, why they do what they do, and we're going to see them actually in performance. And before we go any further, I want to say hello to our musical director, Mr. Bill Swayze. Hey, Bill.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Thanks for being here again this week. We've been really busy here this last couple of weeks.
I can't believe it. It's great.
I know. Has the weather gotten any cooler yet? Do you know?
Oh, I haven't been outside.
Check outside. No, you're always at the keyboard, I guess.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, folks, I have a shocking revelation to make to you today. Many years ago, I slept with Terry Stokes. Now, it's not what you're thinking. Everybody relax, Bill, because I slept with Terry Stokes, but a lot of other people have slept with Terry Stokes. Hundreds of thousands of people have slept with Terry Stokes. Now, I guess I should tell you.
How do they do that?
Well, I should tell you that that Terry Stokes is a hypnotist, and that's why people sleep with him. And we're going to show you what we mean. We have a little clip of Terry Stokes putting people to sleep. Watch your monitor.
I can tell already we're going to have fun tonight. What's your name, sir? Hey, Christopher, relax, sleepy. Moms, think about this. Don't you wish every night at 8 o'clock? Good night, kids. Your dad and I'll be gone for the next 3 days. Sleep. Okay. Speaking of that, here's some young folks up here. Someone with an A on his hand. What's your name?
Eddie.
Hi, Eddie. Sleep, Eddie. Your name, sir?
Paul.
Oh, do me a favor. Put your arm around Eddie. Help me hold him up. Would you do that? Thanks, Paul. Sleep. Valentine. I like the name. Valentine. Look at me. Relax. Relax. And a beautiful lady here. What's your name? Relax. Hi. What's your name? Two ladies. Oh, two gentlemen in the back. Sir, your name is? Hi, Dave. Sleep, Dave. Remain seated, deeper. Remain seated. Your name, sir? Charlie. Charlie, let me borrow the glasses. I'll get them right back. Can I shake your hand for a moment? Relax, Charlie. Sleep, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to admit they are just a little bit relaxed. These are your stars for the rest of the show. From this point on, you can make all the noise you want to make. So let's hear it. Come on.
Now, that's what I mean when I say that I slept with Terry Stokes, because many years ago at a nightclub in Scottsdale, I slept on stage with Terry Stokes, and we've been very good friends ever since, I must say. And I'd like to welcome this gentleman to the show, a very dear old friend of mine, America's favorite hypnotist, Mr. Terry Stokes. Terry, thanks for being here today.
It's a pleasure. But it wasn't that many years ago, and I'm not that old.
No, we won't reveal that. We won't reveal that. But we're both getting just a little grayer than we were then.
I forgot to put the shoe polish on my beard today.
Well, Terry, I'd like to ask you how you define hypnosis, because there's a controversy over actually what hypnosis is and what it is not. So from your perspective, can you tell folks what is hypnotism?
Sure. As a matter of fact, there's a new book out. It's called Understanding Hypnosis, and it is by my favorite hypnotist, Terry Stokes.
Oh, really?
And in that book, we define what hypnosis is. First, let me mention, in everything that I studied in college, hypnosis was defined as a altered state of consciousness characterized by heightened suggestibility and ultra-relaxation. And that sounds really neat, but it doesn't work in about half the cases. That's why in college I was taught only 50% of all the people could be hypnotized. And over the last few years, I've hypnotized hundreds of thousands of people, or tens of thousands at least. And I've come up with a definition that does work, and it's very simple, and it works in every case. A state of hypnosis exists whenever the critical thought process has been suspended. It happens when you're watching television. It happens when you're reading a book. You stop analyzing.
Or when you're driving down the road and you concentrate on that white line and you just get kind of
suddenly realize your
mesmerized.
exit's 5 miles back. Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's why TV commercials work. They entertain us. And we're used to being entertained and suspending critical thought and becoming a part one with the action. And then while we're not using critical thought to analyze, do I really need that? They slipped a suggestion to us. If I say to you, Pillsbury, what just popped into your head?
The Doughboy.
Absolutely. You can stick your finger in his belly and go Gucci goo. Well, that's
well, you can. I'm not going to. Well, how did you become a hypnotist then? What was your background and your training?
When I was in college, I saw a gentleman by the name of Jack Berry doing a show. It was during spring break, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was the most incredible thing. And very honestly, my thinking was going along the lines, if I could do this, can you imagine what I could do it on dates?
Ah, okay.
So I followed Jack around, and at first I thought, this has got to be fixed, like everyone seeing my show now thinks, probably. But I went back and I thought, well, even if it is fixed, he's got 20 different people on stage every night. Man must be making a ton of money. So I went back to school and changed my major to psychogenics, behavior mod, and I did therapy with it for about 13 years. And one night I was telling a class, a weight control class, if you're not happy doing what you're doing, that's part of your problem. Do something you really want to do. And I went back to my office and I said, if that's such good advice, I think I'll take it. And I did. So I wrote a show, I've been touring ever since.
Now, you're originally from Atlanta, is that right? Or
South Georgia.
South Georgia.
The back of the neck is bright red. An original South Georgia redneck.
But I know you're living in Florida now, is that
Fort
right?
Walton Beach, yes.
Your wife and daughter, Terry Ann, and how's she doing, by the way?
She is wonderful. She's getting so big, so fast. And in fact, I'm cutting down my touring next year. Finally occurred to me, I've been out 10 months a year doing these shows, and I'm missing all the smiles and the laughs and everything else. I'm cutting way back.
Well, I know you've been on the road for a lot of
years.
Don't
say a lot of years.
Well, you know, you're a seasoned professional. You certainly have been around. You didn't start yesterday. 13 years in clinical hypnosis, and then many years on the circuit.
20 years.
20 years.
20 years.
Wow. That's incredible.
I am an old person.
You don't look a day past 70, Terry.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You and Dick Clark.
I'll return the compliment.
Yeah, you and Dick Clark. How would you define the difference then between the clinical hypnosis that you were doing and the stage hypnosis that you're doing now? Is the experience for the people that come up on stage different than what they would have, say, in a clinical hypnotherapist's office?
Well, the biggest difference that I noticed was when I was doing clinical work. I lived in an apartment and drove a compact. Now I have some houses around.
Oh,
That's the biggest difference I noticed for me.
So it's a little mercenary.
Yeah, a little mercenary.
But for the people that experience this with you.
Okay, first a couple of things. I've seen many therapeutic hypnotists say, oh, that stage hypnosis is bad. The stage hypnotist is the person that kept hypnosis alive for the doctors and the psychiatrists and all the other people to finally discover it. Where not for the stage hypnotist, the art and science of hypnosis would have died 50 years ago. But as far as the therapeutic aspect, or comparing the two, I honestly feel like I do more good in 1 hour doing a show than I did in 6 months doing therapy. Because if for an hour I can make 1,000 people, or 5,000 people, or 500 people forget that they have a problem and laugh until it hurts. Either laugh at themselves or laugh at their friends. That's the best therapy there is.
Well, I think you've just given us a wonderful definition of what it is to be a part of the variety arts, because the same would go not only for what you do, but for magicians, for clowns in the circus, for anybody that gets up in front of an audience. If you can capture their attention and make them forget their cares for a few minutes.
A 1 hour vacation. To forget the bills, to forget the problems, to forget the in-laws and the outlaws, and just be happy for an hour. That's what it's about.
Yeah. Now, can you, I know you've seen other hypnotists. There are other hypnotists working around the country. I happen to consider you, and I don't just say this because you're sitting here and we're friends, but I consider Terry Stokes to be the #1 hypnotist working today. Okay, I'll get the check from you. What makes your show different than the other hypnotists that are working today?
I have more fun with it. I get more tickled than anybody else in the audience. I don't get bored with it. If something's funny, I break up. I have a good time doing it, and the audience knows that I'm having fun. And when I'm laughing, they're laughing. Sometimes the skit's not funny, but I'll get tickled, and we'll have to stop the show, and everybody will giggle for 10 minutes until I can recompose myself. I think the other thing, I try to throw a party and say, okay, folks, come on, let's have a party, and you be the stars. And I learned a long time ago that I am not the star of my own show. And as soon as I start thinking that I am the star, then I'm in trouble. The stars are the people out of the audience that come up on stage, and they are the stars, and I treat them as the stars. And I think that's a good part of it.
I've seen you for many years, and you've always said that to the audience and to the people that come on stage. You're the stars of the show. I think as a hypnotist, you're in an unusual situation compared to other variety artists, because where a magician would come out and do his thing and look at me and I don't know, a sword swallower or a clown, the attention is always on that performer, singer or dancer. But a hypnotist, you really have to be a facilitator and let other people shine, and it's very difficult to do that.
In a way it is. But just crush my tongue, can't do a thing with it. In a way it is. But again, that's what makes the show successful, and that's what makes me enjoy doing it.
Now, when I first met you, you were working a nightclub, and I know that you worked the nightclub circuit around this country and also in Canada. Have you worked other than the U.S. and Canada? I'm not. No. So you have a basis then for comparison between the United States and Canada, and I think you'd have to agree that club work has kind of died out a little bit in the United States.
It's impossible to find.
Okay, it's dead. Then we can put the last coffin in the nail. How do you see the differences between working the United States and Canada? Are the audiences different? Are they still the same? Or?
Boy, I'm going to upset some people when I say this. I love a Canadian audience. They're not as jaded. They're more receptive. They get excited. They are there to be entertained. They don't show up with a "okay, prove it to me" attitude. Fortunately, for me, I learned and I cut my teeth, so to speak, in the States. So when I got to Canada and people came in and they were sitting there waiting to be entertained, it was a piece of cake. I didn't have to go out and sell them first. So I love a Canadian audience. Now most of my business is the fair market now, and I love working the variety crowds.
Yeah. When did you start working the fairs?
10 years ago.
10 years ago. And the Arizona State Fair is from what I understand, one of the largest fairs on the circuit.
It's also one of the best on the circuit.
Well,
we worked some dogs. I won't mention, but we've also worked some great ones in Puyallup, Washington, the Calgary Stampede, Edmonton Expo. But the Arizona State Fair is absolutely the top of the list of one of the finest. Not only from an entertainer's point of view, but from the point of view of the people coming into the fair. They've got something for everyone. The grounds are clean. It's well run. It is a pleasure to work here.
And we have 100+ temperatures.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's a perfect example of what this fair does. At the stage that we work on, at the Petro-Canada stage, because it is so hot, they enclosed it and they put up, I don't even know what this system is called, but they spray a mist of water
system
throughout so that the people that are there can sit down and enjoy watching a show.
And cool off. When somebody comes up on stage to be a part of your show, what can they expect when they come up on stage? What are they going to feel, and what are they going to remember through the experience of being part of your show?
Well, first, as a hypnotist, I give people an opportunity to do something that everyone wants to do, which is get on stage and entertain. If they make an ass of themselves, they can blame it on me. All right? So I'm going in with a little edge there to begin with. But a hypnotized person knows what's going on. You're just so relaxed that you don't care. Now, go back to the definition that we used a little while ago. Critical thought is suspended. Well, inhibitions come from critical thought. What would so-and-so think if I did this? Well, if you suspended critical thought, you have no inhibitions. So if I suggest to a man that he is the world's first pregnant man, and in a few moments he'll be giving birth to a baby, and we have a teddy bear there, if he were to bring critical thought back into play, he would say, oh no, that's impossible, and the skit wouldn't work. But with hypnosis, we've suspended critical thought. So he responds to the suggestion. Better example of that. You've been watching a TV show before, maybe there's a fight scene going on and someone throws a punch at the camera. You find yourself ducking. Well, you've suspended critical thought. If critical thought were in play, you would say, well, the fist can't come through the screen. I'm safe. Yeah. But if you did that, you couldn't enjoy the show.
When you talk about skits, I know that one of the things that you like to do is make people in just the lay audience, the people that come up on stage when they're hypnotized, you turn them into celebrities. And we have some footage that you brought along here today that demonstrates some of the different people that you've had doing some of the different celebrities, and I have to tell you, I've seen the tape and it's hysterically funny. It runs about 5 or 6 minutes, and we want to show people, we want to show everybody what Terry Stokes does live in performance. This is great stuff, folks, and we're going to take a look at the tape. Terry, watch the monitor.
For your star. Come on. Can I get some bird medals? Star Evening Shade is with us. Put it up, bud. Nice to meet you. You're going to get it? Come on, I'll take it. I'd have to love to hear Madonna do a song tonight. Madonna, you look good. Sit down, bud. Let's do it up. My favorite song in the world is one of yours, and I listen to this thing all the time. It's my favorite song. It's called
Vogue.
what?
Vogue.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Did you do that one, Vogue? Did you? Oh, that's not one of your favorites? Did you do my favorite one? I have a favorite. Can you say it real quick? You know what my absolute favorite is, and I really do love it? It's the one you made popular in the hit film Dick Tracy. It's called Hanky Panky. Did you do that one? Ladies and gentlemen, this is... We got it? Madonna, hit it! Come on, let's hear it, folks. This guy reminds me a lot of Buddy Hackett. You, sir, I'm touching. Upon awakening, you are the one and only Buddy Hackett. One of the funniest guys in show business. Upon awakening, sir, any time throughout the rest of the day that you hear applause, it is your fans applauding for you, Buddy Hackett. Buddy, you'll stand up, wave to your fans. I don't know how much you appreciate them. They're the ones that have made you what you are today. Whenever you hear applause, you'll stand up, wave to your fans. I don't know how much you appreciate them, and then just sit right back down. Also, buddy, if anyone would like an autograph, you'd be more than glad to sign it for them. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you would, a nice round of applause for all of you stars. But I mentioned that Buddy Hackett is here tonight. Buddy Hackett, funniest man. Buddy Hackett, he's here. Funniest man in show. Buddy Hackett, you'd like an autograph. Nicest guy. Said, yeah, Buddy, just have a seat. Appreciate you dropping. Yeah, keep applauding. Let's get an autograph. Buddy Hackett, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Buddy, appreciate you dropping in. Yeah, nice guy. I love your... Some clapping, people, come on. Wide awake. Sit down there for a minute. Strangest thing I've ever seen.
I got you, and I got flowers.
Sing it to him, son. Sing it to him.
In the spring, and I got you. Wear my ring.
Let him have it, Sharon.
Go ahead.
This thing's the one and only Whitney Houston. Where is she? Where's Whitney? Ladies and gentlemen, Whitney Houston. Some kind of a movie star? By the way, sir, would you just go sit down, please? I'm not going to stop her.
Hey, those were great clips, Terry. There's some funny stuff there.
I have fun doing this show.
I know, and it's obvious. Well, I want to make sure that people know that you're at the State Fair now. You're appearing there right now, and they can come to the Arizona Lottery stage.
To the Arizona, we just left Canada, and we were at the Petro-Canada.
Little time lag.
Back up. We were at the Arizona Lottery stage.
At the Arizona State Fair. Now, does it cost anything to get in to see your show at the State Fair?
Nope.
Well, that's great. Terry, you've been eyeing this tie.
I want the tie,
Have
Brad.
you had anybody on your stage do Marilyn Monroe?
I've had actually somebody sing. My wife, who is a big fan of Marilyn Monroe, did "Happy Birthday" as Mr. President.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, aren't we something?
You know, she's really going to be disappointed that she didn't get to see you. But maybe if I could take her that tie, or wear that tie home, she'll be.
Well,
really...
I kind of like having Marilyn on my chest.
I don't blame you at all.
And you know, I've got her tied in knots too.
Brad,
Well, anyway, that's.
Brad, look into my eyes. You will give me the tie.
Tell you what, we'll try that later. You're going to be at the Arizona State Fair till when? How long is that
For the
run?
full run of the fair, for 17 days.
17 days, okay, so we've done that. And can you do a real quick suggestibility test?
Sure.
And then we're gonna say goodbye.
Okay.
But this is not hypnosis now, folks. This is just a suggestibility test.
Sure, this will give you, it shows you how the science of suggestion works. Sit back in your living room and try this. Put the pop can down. Sit back first. Interlock your fingers, like you see me doing here. Put the top two fingers out. That's right, it's like we're playing This Is the Church House.
Yeah, right.
Separate the two fingers and stretch your arms straight in front of you as far as you can. Now, just for the next few moments, look away from your TV screen, but focus your gaze between the two fingers. Look right between the two fingers. If you do that, you'll find that starting right now, those fingers are going to start to move together, almost as if they have a will of their own. It'll surprise you. Right now, though, it's like a magnet pulling the fingers closer, close together, closer, closer, closer. At this point, if you try to stop them, you'll find you can't. They're being drawn closer, closer together, closer, closer. Okay, go ahead and put the hands down. I would venture to say about 99% of your viewers saw those fingers start to move. And one little lady, I had a feeling, went like that because she got scared, and another guy, his fingers didn't move, but his knees probably went together. So.
His knees buckled.
Yeah.
Well, it worked for me because I just did it, and it happened. So
everyone is suggestible.
well, I hope that I get a chance to come on stage and sleep with you again sometime
Oh, I wish
under
you would.
hypnosis.
I wish
okay?
you would.
All right, being Mr. Entertainer.
Okay.
Terry, I understand that when you first got started performing hypnosis, it was as a result of watching another performer. Did you have a teacher or a mentor in this process of becoming a professional hypnotist?
Actually, the gentleman that I saw, Jack Berry, when I got out of school, I was looking for a place to set up a clinic, and he had just retired and had started the Atlanta Hypnosis Institute. So I went over, met him, told him that he had gotten me started in it, and I bought into the business. And within 5 years, we were the largest school of its type in the country.
How about that?
Uh-huh.
Well, This is, I think, a good case in point that a lot of folks probably don't understand about entertainers and variety artists in particular, is that there are teachers and mentors and people to study with and learn from, and really that's the way this information gets...
It's the only way to do it.
Gets passed from generation to generation. Sure. We learn from what went before.
That's right.
And so this is the neat part of the business, I guess, is being able to do your thing and then someday
to learn a little bit and pass it on.
And pass it on.
I'm doing that now.
You are?
Yes.
I thought so. And
let me get in a plug for the guy.
Okay.
A gentleman by the name of Mark Usick, and he happens to be from Phoenix. When I met him about a year ago, he had what I consider to be the biggest qualification. He had incredible desire. And I've been teaching him, working with him for about a year, and starting in about a month, he'll be going out on his own. We've already got him the dates. He's got a full schedule, it looks like, next year. If you want to see him, you can come see him. He will be at the Arizona Lottery stage, and he'll be working the first show on stage with me.
Very good. So how many shows a day do you have there?
Doing 3 shows a day.
3 shows a day?
Yeah, I can't do 4 because, as you've already told the people, I'm old.
Well, you're not that old,
okay.
But you are a dear friend, and I appreciate your being with us here today on the New Variety Art Show. That's what this is all about. Let people meet you and see what you do. And I want to thank Bill Swayze, our musical director, for that music that you're hearing in the background. We want to thank you for tuning in, folks, to the New Variety Art Show. We hope that you'll tune in next time on your public access station to the New Variety Art Show, when we'll have another exciting and interesting guest. In the meantime, we want you to continue to support variety arts in your community. Thanks for joining us.